Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. Today I'm not out on the water, I'm in my basement and I'm working on a problem. I've got a problem with my kayaks, and that is they leak. They leak really bad. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about boats and why it's such a problem that my kayak is a leaky boat. And with any luck, by the end of the day, I've got a fixed boat. I can fix my boat and we'll know why and how, and everything will be better. So if you remember in a previous video, I said this. My boat had a lot of water in it, like a lot. I was starting to get a funny lean going on there. I also said this. She's probably 30 pounds lighter now. So every kayak comes with a safe working load recommended by the manufacturer. In my case, my Pelican Boost 100s have a 300-pound safe working load. So that means I weigh 235 pounds-ish. My gear weighed 40 pounds-ish. I also had 6 liters of water, so that's probably like 10 pounds right there. So we're already pushing right up against the safe working load, and I haven't even added any water to the boat yet. So obviously I had a lot of surprise water in my boat when I was going down the Soggy, and that's why I had that list happening. I was tilted over the side for probably the last section of that river, and it was very heavy to pull out of the water. Obviously, that's not good. So later today, I'm going to do an inspection on the boat. I'm going to figure out where the water's coming from. Now, I have two suspects. The first is a pad eye I installed with pop rivets several months ago, but I'm not too worried about that one. That one's got a pretty solid seal on it. The second culprit is going to be the hatches that I installed just before the trip. I had installed those using the manufacturer's gaskets, and those foam gaskets just don't seem adequate. So I'm going to do a hatch inspection, a hatch seal inspection on those, and we're going to stick the action camera inside the boat, and we're going to see how much water is getting in there when I spray it with the hose. So if that's the case, I'm going to have to reinstall them, but we'll see. Here we go. So why does a boat develop a list? Well, it develops a list for a couple of reasons. The first would be a shift in cargo. Now, because I was on a kayak, my stuff was strapped down pretty good, packed pretty tight, so I don't think it was a shift in cargo. What it was surprise water. Surprise water can be very dangerous. So all boats, doesn't matter if it's a ship, a kayak, a canoe, an oil rig, it doesn't matter. They all deal with ship stability. And there's an awesome book I used back in college, Merchant Ship Stability, that explains everything about why boats lean, list, and sink, and flip over, and all that stuff. So I'm going to just show you a quick diagram out of this, and that will help explain why having water in your kayak is a bad thing. So this page has a stability diagram on it. At the top, we can see stable equilibrium, neutral equilibrium, and negative equilibrium. So this would be unstable. This is what's going to cause your boat to roll over. This is neutral. This means that it's very, very tippy, and you'll probably have a list happening, which is what I had on the river. And this is good. This means that you're resistant to rolling over. So if you look at this top diagram here, you'll see that G, that's your center of gravity, and M, your meta center, are in their proper orientations. If for some reason your G ends up above your meta center, you end up with this diagram. You can see here we have our center of gravity above our meta center. This means we're going to roll over. Bad stuff. You can see here they're basically the same. Also not great. This, good. Center of gravity below the meta center. That's what we're after. So why is the distance between G and M important? Well, because every time we add weight to our boat, we are raising our center of gravity. That G is going up towards the meta center. So when you're at or near the manufacturer's recommended weight limit, your GM is very small. That means that your ability to right yourself is also very small. The bigger that distance between G and M, the better your ability to right yourself, and the better your ability to stay in an upright position. So if you add so much weight to your boat that your center of gravity is above your meta center, she'll just roll over. You're going to capsize. There's nothing you can do. So here we are looking at the kayak. It's a Pelican Boost 100. I installed this hatch before my trip down the Saugeen, and I only used the foam gaskets, so I don't think it's adequate. So in there you can see there's not much water. Not much water at all in there. I went ahead and put the action camera in there, and I'm gonna hit it with the garden hose on the highest setting I can get, and we're gonna see how much water gets in there. Here we go. Jet, that's what we want. All right, here we go. So that much water is absolutely enough water to sink me over the course of a day. That's why I had such a crazy list happening on the Saugeen River. Rapids all day. Every time I go through a wave, a little bit more water gets in, a little bit more water gets in, and before you know it, 5, 6, 7 gallons of water, I'm sunk. It's pretty obvious I'm going to have to replace the hatches on this, or at the very least reinstall them. So I've got some 3M 5200, and I'm going to go out on the back deck and install those hatches properly. So the plan is to pull up all these screws, pull the hatch out, throw away the foam gasket, and replace it with a proper sealant. It's also important to point out that you should always wear gloves when you're handling this stuff. Super important. You definitely don't want to get it on your skin. All right, screws are out. Here we go. Yeah, you can see all that water underneath. Oh man, maybe I should clean up this hole too. But you can see all the moisture on the inside of that foam ring. That's not what we want. Oh, look at that. That was up at the front. That's the front corner. Oh man, no wonder this thing leaked. Yeah, foam gasket, not adequate. So this is the hole I'm working with. You can see where the screws all went in. You can see along the edge, I did sand this when I installed it, but obviously I didn't do a good enough job. So I'm going to come back with a little bit of sandpaper and just clean this up a little bit. Yeah, look at that. Oh man. So I took some 220, I put it in there, sanded it up. All right, so I've put the sealant on and I've resealed the hatch. It's always good to remember to use more adhesive than less. I mean, obviously you don't want too much, but otherwise you end up with a nice clean hatch like that. That's what I'm after. So in 4 days I'll be able to test this. All right, so we got a nice clean install, this time with 3M 5200. This thing, useless thing, that's going in the garbage, or maybe I'll keep it, I don't know. It's approximately the same size as that hole, so yeah, maybe I'll keep it, why not? Other than that, it's all done for another week, so I'll see you guys in 4 days and we will test that hatch again. All right, thanks everybody for joining me. That's another video for the week. The hatch is all fixed. It's installed properly with the 3M 5200 sealant. That should keep any water out in the future. But just to be sure, I'm going to retest it next week. We'll make sure that the job was done right. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll answer everything I can. So have a good day, guys.